Hey, what's up, everybody? This is a real impromptu kind of style video I'm going to do. It's been a couple weeks since I made a video, and so I thought this would be a good opportunity to make one. What I'm going to do is unbox this Glarry right here. So far, nobody's watching, so nobody's even watching this. There we go. I got one person watching. Anyway, I'm going to unbox this Glarry video, or Glarry telly here, and this is just super laid back. No big deal or whatever. I'm up here in my attic studio. If you hear any noise coming from that direction, it's from my kids watching a movie in the next door. So anyway, Glarry contacted me, asked if I would review one of their guitars again. I've reviewed their Stratocaster, and I also reviewed an acoustic guitar, and they're both okay. The Stratocaster was a lot better than the acoustic guitar was, but anyway, then they said, you want to do another one? And I said, yeah, send me one of your tellies. And they said, which color do you want? I said, doesn't matter to me, just pick a color, send it to me. So let's dig in here. I'm gonna try to get back where we can kind of experience it all at the same time here. Feel free too, if you want to ask me something, I'll try to see if I can get it to pop up here on the side. I've got this playing as well, and so hopefully I'll be able to see the live chat as if you're saying anything. So if you're saying something, do me a favor, like make a comment real quick or something so I can see if it pops up on my computer screen so I can be watching as well for that. But if you have any other questions or anything, this is pretty laid back. So anyway, now the guitar, when I got that one, the acoustic guitar, it was like really bad as far as the packaging. Let's see what this packaging was. All right, very, very good. So, okay, we've got a lead and a whammy bar for a Telecaster, which is always fun to do, have a whammy bar for a Telecaster. We've got a strap, and other than that, let's see. Oh yeah, it's got a bag also. By the way, these are like, if I'm not mistaken, I think they're like 65 bucks or something like that, something on those lines, on Glarry's website, which I think is glarrymusic.com. Oh, you know what? I take it back. They didn't send me the Telecaster one. They sent me the one that looks like an Ibanez. Okay. Well, I did tell them to send me whichever one we wanted. So this is it right here. So actually, the whammy bar will fit on this here. Let's kind of do a little bit here. You can get a look at this. I'm not sure if this comes across reversed for you or not as I'm looking at it. I don't think it does. This is a really, really light guitar. Very, very, very light. But it's not like neck heavy. This is really, really light. Obviously it's gonna be out of tune. Let's see if we can tune this guy up a little bit. Let me just get a rough tune. Tuning keys. This one's really tight. Let me just kind of get. All right. All right, getting there. Hey guys, feel free to say something too. If you're watching this, I'd be happy to talk or whatever. I don't usually do these kind of live videos, so. The neck feels really like a baseball bat. Really, it's a large neck. And these tuners are really tight. I'm trying as hard as I can on that. Twist it. Ugh, it's like I've screwed. And that might be the worst, the tightest tuner I've ever come across. Let me unscrew the tip of that. I literally am putting as much pressure as I can on that G string to twist it. I'm gonna just loosen it up a little bit, see if that does any better. Not really. Wow. Wow, that is really tight. Really loose. I don't know. What do you guys think? That's all right. The purpose of this is just I haven't made a video in a while, and so somebody just posted that up on the screen. The purpose of this is to unbox this video of this guitar from Glarry, because I haven't made a video in a while and just haven't had time, so I thought I'd throw this up here as I'm doing it. This is kind of actually what the process that most people kind of go through when they're reviewing something is, you know, unboxing it, testing it, and then coming up with their opinion and their views on it. And then after that happens, usually this is when you'll make this kind of video. So basically this video is just doing it real time. But I'm going to hook this up to I'm going to hook it up to some sort of tuner. And let me see if I can tune this guy properly with this Peterson tuner. We'll get it in amazing tune with that. Peterson tuners, if you don't know, are just the best tuners. So let's see what we got here. And then I've got this Fender bass breaker down here. I'll play through it here in a second as well. So sorry if this isn't your cup of tea, watching this kind of video, hanging out. Thanks for the answer. You got it, man. It's Ulrich. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate you commenting. So I am tuning this guy up. Doesn't seem to be. Whoa. I don't know why, but it is not registering. Look at this. Everything I'm doing is just saying the same thing. Not really sure what the deal is with that. Let me grab another tuner, see if it's the same thing happening. Alright, here's a good old Boss T2. Boss TU2. Alright. See if we get any better tune with this here. No. Oh, you know what might help? Plugging up the guitar. This is ridiculous. Alright. Alright, let's give it a shot now. That's embarrassing. Alright. E. Man, this tuner is tight. This G string is really tight there. I literally don't know if I can twist that anymore. I've never encountered a tuner that tight. I'm going to see if I can loosen it again up here, but I don't think so. That's pretty loose. that screw at the top. A half step off still. Bear with me. Almost there. All right, almost. In case you're just watching this, I got this Glarry guitar and I'm trying to just tune it up and just do a quick playthrough, but tuning it's easier said than done because this tuner is super tight, this G string. I'm getting the rest of it out of tune as I'm tuning this one. There we go. It's a little sharp, but it'll probably go flat. And this B, great. All right, a couple other people. We used to have t-shirts printed with, when is it plugged in? Nice. That's from Richard. How do these compare to the Harley Benton? I have not played a Harley Benton guitar. I take that back. I think I played one at a music round a couple years ago because I'd heard so much about it. But this one is not going to be compared to Harley Benton. Harley Benton's much better of a guitar, I think, than this is here. Now the Stratocaster that I got, which was a blue one I reviewed a while back, it was I gave away to somebody, and so I can't compare it directly with it, you know, in this video. But it seems to me like a better quality than this out of the box. But once I get this thing tuned, I'll be able to play a little bit. We can hear. Man, these two tuners, I cannot overstate how much. I literally think I might have to use the pliers to tune it. Yeah. Bob puts, I could see a 12-year-old trying to tune. It'd be something to see. Yeah, it's true. It wouldn't be easy. All right, here we go. Man. Do my best with that. I don't know. Let's hook it up to this bass breaker. And if I can get it plugged in, let me get a cable for it. All right. Okay, as that's warming up, it's got about, let's see, what is it, and how does the impulse response work? IR, I noticed some on sale. Can you explain how it works? I'm not sure what you're talking about as far as impulse response for any of my equipment. It would be, I don't think I have anything that does impulse response. So I don't have a Helix or anything like that. Where do I stand on stuff like Shure, boutique, Japanese, and obscure modded solid guitars? Any preference? We're pretty open. Shure's, not sure, like not the I don't even know if I'm saying it right. The SUHR is what he's saying. Shure's, I've only played one of them. It was a Stratocaster. To me, it sounded really cool. A friend of mine that you know, he had one, and I thought that was cool, a really cool guitar. They are very expensive, so I'm kind of in the, like, if you got the money to pay for it, go for it. But is it any better than like a well set up American guitar or Mexican guitar? Not necessarily. I'm kind of in the more of the, I'm not so much in the boutique world. I'm more in the affordability world, and that's why I'm reviewing something like this, a sub $100 guitar, even though it seems to me like it's definitely worth sub $100 at this point. But as far as those boutique stuff, no, I'm not really, I don't have anything opposed to it. I'm just not really into the boutique stuff. So mostly because I don't have money. So, you know, if I had tens of thousands of dollars where I could go buy whatever I wanted, that'd be awesome, but I don't. So even most of the guitars that I have, you know, I think I probably have about 25 plus guitars, but I think maybe 2 or 3 of them are worth over $1,000, you know. So anyway, getting back to this guitar, looking at the fret ends, these are actually very, very good for a beginner guitar. I've picked up many guitars that have worse fret ends than this. If you just took a little bit of sandpaper and just got the edges of these too, it would be even better. Let's see if I can just ear tune this, and then I'll play a little bit. I don't think I'm in the right. No, I'm not. This is the bass breaker on the, let's just put it on the low gain structure. This is going to be kind of more of a Fendery kind of thing. I can't tell if this is a 5-way switch or if it's a 3-way switch, or if they installed it incorrectly. Look at this. So you've got, it looks like it's like 1, 2, 3, and that's it. But it's like, or it's not hitting the fifth one. I'll have to take it apart to see what that is. But so if the tones I'm getting are not very good, it's because I'm probably playing with these two together, and then the middle, and then these two together, and not really getting the last pickups. Let's see. I can't get it to engage over there. I don't know. So we'll see. Right off the bat, that needs to be brought down. The bridge there needs to be tightened up in the back here. You go to the middle position. Wait a minute here, hold on. Man, I'm not sure what's going on. I don't know if you can see that, what's happening here. Watch this. This should be the tone knob, but it's like another volume knob. Interesting, very interesting. Let's put it all the way down. I don't know what's going on here. At this point, this is definitely going to take some work for me to get this in playable condition. I can't figure out even how I would play this in a live setting, or even like that when I put it in the middle position and then put it down here, the volume difference, and those sound the exact same. Well, it's a little bit brighter down there, but yeah, I'm not sure what's happening with this switch. It looks like it's kind of not installed straight, and I'm not sure if it's just, oh, there it goes. Hold on. Okay, I pushed through and it cracked a little bit of this paint here and got down to the bottom one. So this is the bottom pickup now. Let me try that on the top. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now we got it. Somehow I did that and it pushed. So let's see here. Now it's working where I've got this top pickup. Here's the top pickup. I'm gonna pull the volume down just a bit. See, the middle pickup's not even usable. It's so faint. Obviously the guitar is going out of tune again. Let's put a little bit, if you don't know the bass breaker, it's got like a Fender setting, it's got a Vox setting and a Marshall setting. So here's the Vox setting. To play when it's so out of tune. When I'm playing it, the nut is high, so as I'm pushing down, even if that doesn't sound bad, but when I'm playing an A chord, it's out of, like, the frets are out of tune because this nut is so high. Anyway, second position. Middle. Now it's working, so I did something with that. Now the tone is working. All right, let's go to the Marshall setting and turn the master down a little bit. Let's see. All right, well, okay, here's my thoughts on this. Let me see what you guys are saying. Looks like an Ibanez. Yeah, it does look like an Ibanez. It does not play like an Ibanez. How would you compare it to an Ibanez starter guitar? So when I used to teach music lessons, those Ibanez starter guitars were pretty popular. You know, like the amp in a guitar in a box type thing. This is not as good as a starter Geo or whatever those guitars are. So whatever those cost, if they're $200 with the amp or something around there, they're better than this is. Not saying those are the best guitars ever, but it is better than this is. Out of the box, this is unplayable. If this would only be frustrating for somebody that is learning guitar. You know, if this is somebody that is say 12, 13 years old, they're wanting to get into guitar, you buy this for Christmas. This model, I don't think would be a good choice. Now, their Stratocaster that seemed like that was a great choice. In fact, the person I gave it to asked if I could have it because he wanted to give it to this girl that I think is 12 or 13 and plays acoustic and is wanting an electric, and she's a talented up-and-coming person, and he wanted to bless her with it. So I said, sure, I'm not really going to use it, and gave it to her. So anyway, that's kind of where I'm looking with that. I don't really think that it's the next question is from Justin Dukes. He says, is it worth the money, or should I go get a Squire? I say go get a Squire, man. Dude, you can buy a used Squire on Craigslist for under $100, like in the $75, $80 range. A lot of times people will list them for $100 if it's like an Affinity, and you can say, would you take 75 or 80, and they'll say yes. Or if you go to like a musical round or a pawn shop, man, pawn shops have Squires all day long. Yeah, that's not worth. I would, even for the $65, I'll tell you what this is worth it for. the 65 bucks is, if you're wanting to get into guitar repair and you wanted to say, like, I'm gonna mess around with this, take it apart, you know, strip out the pickups, put the pickups back in, you know, maybe upgrade the pots, and you're just testing out. You don't want to do something where you're going to regret. You know, that's where this kind of thing would come into. So for me, now it's interesting because, like I said, the Stratocaster version of this was a lot better than this is. I mean, the Stratocaster version was as good as like a Squire Bullet to me, but this one is not. So for me, I've done a lot of, you know, do-it-yourself guitar repair stuff. I'm by no means a luthier, even though I've put together a few guitars. That I'm not a luthier, not by trade and just by hobby am I working on anything. But there's every now and then a few things that I've wanted to try. Like, for example, I've been interested in playing a fretless guitar. And so this might be a project that I would do with that, is remove all the frets and put different pickups in here and then play this as a fretless guitar. You know, what I think you basically can do is rip out the frets and play it. Just to get an idea, the things that I'd have to do to this to make this a playable guitar, I mean, depending on how someone's ears are, for me, I think that this would not be a very good, these pickups are not very good. So they sound really, really muddy. There's not anything clear about it. The bridge pickup's not as bad, but these pickups don't sound good to me at all. Just about any guitar that I plug into my bass breaker, I can kind of find adjust the tone knob a little bit, and get a decent sound out of it. I didn't really find anything that I really liked just from the few minutes of playing through this. But also the okay, so the pickups would be number one. Probably you would have to go in and replace or mess with this slot here. I mean, I don't know if you can really see that or not with what's happening, but it's like at an angle, and so it's rubbing up at the top, and in the middle it's fine. It rubs down again at the bottom. I bet if I took this apart, matter of fact, let's just take this apart. We're doing this thing live. It's only got 2 screws on the back, and let's see what this looks like internally here in the electronics. Might as well. I always carry this Leatherman with me. That is like, I personally carry it just in my pocket, but if you don't want to do that, I encourage you to keep one in a gig bag, because these come in really, really handy. If you saw that or not, there's like still sawdust in here from the original, from the cutout. There it is. That's what it looks like. It's not, these are very, very inexpensive parts. Wow. It's interesting, they went ahead and put a capacitor there on the tone knob, which I wasn't expecting that. These might be the cheapest components I've ever seen in a guitar. Even like when you go on eBay and you buy like the cheapest switch, you know, like from China, like it's not even as cheap as this one is. They did a good job of finding the cheapest possible parts. The pots, yeah, these are normal cheap pots. But they do seem even a little bit smaller than even Squire's. The wood that it's made out of, it does look like it's some sort of like particle board or like hollow wood here, and then it's got a top on it. I don't know if you can see that, but it's, let me kind of get in here. This part, this is a different piece of wood than the top part here. You know, they're 2 different pieces. So I don't know if that's just the way that the paint came on or what, but very interesting. The tremolo bar, or the tremolo, seems like normal cheap tremolo stuff. You can see on the edge, well, you probably can't, but the chrome is peeling off a little bit. But, you know, okay, DB Cisco says, how do you know they're cheap electronics? Do you have training in electronics? Size means absolutely nothing. must be a gut thing, LOL, or must be a guy thing, LOL. I don't really, well, it depends on what you mean by training in electronics. So like I've read a number of books regarding electronics, but I'm mostly kind of self-taught, but I've built a lot of things. So like I've built a guitar amplifier before, I've built mini guitar pedals, that kind of thing. So put together a few guitars, and I would say maybe, like, as far as replacing electronics and guitars, maybe I've done a half a dozen, maybe a couple more times. So when I say cheap, how do I know it's cheap parts? That's because of comparing it with previous things that I've ordered that are more expensive. So if I've gone on to, you know, I don't know, eBay is where I buy a lot of my stuff, and buy a potentiometer, you know, you've got different variants that you can buy, like CTS potentiometers, and comparing the quality of those, I can just tell of how it's put together. Like the size of it kind of does matter. Like the bigger the potentiometer, it's going to be able to adjust the resistance. It's basically a potentiometer is a adjustable resistor, and the bigger the potentiometer, the greater the ability to adjust the resistance equally would be, if that makes sense. As far as this switch here, I can just see that it could come apart very easy. So if you look at if you're looking at what's it called? Sorry, I'm trying to read the comments and process my thought at the same time. If you look at like a Fender switch, I couldn't just pull it apart very easily. I mean, I don't know, you can't really see that. I don't know if you can see. It just is really cheap metal. It's very, very cheap metal. So I don't know. As far as the quality of other things, like, I'm not even putting this guitar down. I'm just saying it's not really, well, I guess I kind of am a little bit, but it's not good. So DB says, rolling on the floor, love you, but you are spreading misinformation. Not really sure what misinformation I'm spreading. I mean, I'm just giving information on here. I've seen a number of hundreds of potentiometers to understand which ones are cheap potentiometers and which ones are expensive. And I can tell you from right off the bat, from being able to play this and seeing that at first this wasn't even controlling the tone, it was controlling the volume. And then once I adjusted something in here, it made a connection somehow that it all of a sudden started controlling the volume. And the fact that this wasn't switching all the way to the first and the fifth position, I mean, I don't have to have a degree in engineering to look at it and see if it's cheap or not. But I don't know. Obviously, they're using cheap parts. Let's see. Justin says, Glarry uses cheap parts. That's why they're so cheap. 60 bucks. Yeah. I mean, it's as cheap parts as you possibly could get. That's why they're so inexpensive. Like I said, it's not necessarily a bad thing. They're trying to get at a price point. So anyway, things I would replace, like I said, pickups. I'd probably keep the bridge. That seems fine. I'd make some adjustments with it. The pots, I'd keep these knobs. I would replace this switch. The nut seems a little high, and it is definitely just a plastic nut. So over time, that probably wouldn't be the best, and it probably would sound a little bit better having a Tusk nut. The tuners are super bad. Like I was showing at the beginning of the video, if you didn't see it, I was having to literally use my right hand and put it down to turn the tuner because it was so hard to tune. So those would be replaced. But, you know, so if you're looking at it and you go, I'm just talking going on Amazon and buying the cheapest stuff, you could buy a couple pots, a switch, tuners, pickups, and for another 30 or 40 bucks, probably make this a decent playing guitar. Again, that's where I think that the win on this is somebody using these for something to learn on. So anyway, as long as Michael says, as long as the neck and frets are playable is nice. makes a nice cheap modding platform. Yeah, I think this does make a cheap, nice modding platform. We'll say it is very, very, very light. This would actually be a good guitar to do some sort of test on, perhaps comparing it to another similarly shaped guitar or something where the whole tone wood thing, like if you put, you know, maybe, I don't know, there's a lot of variables involved in that, but this definitely is some sort of compressed wood thing here in the middle, or very, very, very light wood, whatever it is. I will say though that it actually looks, whoever's doing their wiring did a pretty good job setting up their wiring in here. There's just like the hole here has got blowout. There's yeah, it's interesting. Let's see. Did they send me the wrong model or something? You know what? I think what happened is, because, and the title of this is a Telecaster, I asked if I could, they said pick out a guitar for me to review, and I asked to do a Telecaster, and they said they don't have any in stock, and I said, well, when you get them in stock, let me know, and I'll review it. And so they sent me an email last week and said, hey, we got the such and such in stock, we're sending it your way. And so I assumed they were going to send me a Telecaster because that was what I had said, but I'm fine reviewing this as well. This will probably be something that I will, like I said, either mod, take it apart and do something, or, you know, maybe do something silly with this, you know, like attempt at a, like, what do they call that? Relicking a guitar or something like that, that I wouldn't do with a guitar that I cared about. Trying it with this. I think, just looking at this, it actually looks pretty nice. I have a feeling that this, well, I was going to say this might be that photo paper, but it's not. You can see that there's at least 3 pieces of wood on here. I can't tell from the back, but actually that looks pretty cool. You know, I think that if you didn't see this on the headstock, if you didn't see Glarry, you'd probably think that this is an Ibanez, and would assume this is, you know, a decent guitar. So anyway, let's see if anybody has anything else to say before I end this. Yeah, they sent me the wrong model. DB Cisco says CTS Switchcraft are cheap, are real cheap. Okay. Is that a free demo guitar they send to you? Yes, this is a free guitar that they sent me. So I told them which one that I wanted to review, and then they sent it to me. So, but I probably honestly will end up just giving this to somebody. I'll fix it up as good as I can easily, and maybe with some spare parts, and give it to somebody. I bought a Glarry Strat just for a wall hanger. Yeah, that's a great thing to do too. Michael says, is the neck replaceable? It's bolt-on. It's a bolt-on neck. I don't know where you're going to find a replaceable neck for it specifically, but yeah, if you wanted to, you know, if you wanted to grab another neck and measure the neck pocket and make sure that it was the same size and the same scale length, then you should be able to replace the neck. Actually, more than replacing this neck with another one, this might be a good option to, because this neck is not bad, is to take the neck, and maybe you have an Ibanez or something that you broke the neck on, you could take this and replace that with an Ibanez. You know what would be kind of fun is to take a Strat and put this neck on it, and just kind of have this like Ibanez looking thing in the top and then Strat at the bottom, or a Telecaster or something like that. It'd be kind of fun. How's the playing action? Are those pickups any good? I did at the beginning of the video, I played through the pickups, and no, this is Medicine Man. Their pickups sounded like junk to me, but you know, it is what it is. It played okay. It played okay. The nut's real high, but so it's out of tune. The lower you play, the higher you play. Seemed like it's in better tune. So the nut could be lowered a little bit. So there's that. it did not sound good when I was playing it, but the playability was not. It's a little bit high. Obviously, it needs a setup, but not too bad. Excellent tip on the pocket and the scale length and the neck stuff. Yeah, you got to make sure you got it the same scale length. I had a friend who bought had a friend of his put together a guitar where he was describing the two guitars that he said, I took a neck off one guitar and put it on the other guitar, and I thought, I don't think those have the same scale length. Anyway, I didn't want to tell him, but I'm sure he was out of tune all over the place. I'm sure this is Medicine Man again. I sure like to scrape that paint off and spray paint and I'm sorry, my eyes can't see this far away. Spray a turkey on there and a Columbus big ship. Okay. Sorry about getting crazy on the electronics. This is DB Cisco. I've been working in electronics since the 70s. Bro, you probably know more than me. Like I said, I'm not giving you a hard time at all. But I'm not an expert. I do know some things, but I'm not an expert for sure. So I'm always willing to learn. Always willing to learn more and do more. But anyway, let me give you one more last look on this guy. And I'm going to make a demo of this, like a 5-minute demo, going through this. But like I said, none of you guys were even here at the beginning of the video. But the purpose of this video is I haven't made a video out in a while. And so I thought, you know what? Thanksgiving was yesterday. I need to get something out. I need to get something going. And on my channel, and I haven't really done one of these hangouts before, but right now there's 14 of you guys watching and 6 likes, so I appreciate that. If you want to hit a like button, I'd appreciate that too. But I might try to do some more of this hangout stuff in the future. I'm just trying to test it out right now. I'm just using my phone, so the audio is not very good. I'm reading off of my computer over here on the side, but if there's any if you like this kind of video, let me know, and maybe I'll do more of this. Medicine Man says, what did you get for Black Friday shopping? I did not get anything for Black Friday shopping. What I did do, and I can't believe I actually did this, is one of my close friends, one of my best friends, owns a Tesla, and he has a Model S. It's a funny story. I'll tell it some other time how I talked him into getting it. Anyway, the Tesla Cybertruck just released. Tesla Cybertruck just released this last week, and I watched the unveiling of it and all that kind of stuff, and it popped up and said it was $49,000, and I thought, man, that is really cheap. So right now it's $100 to pre-order a Tesla Cybertruck, and I never thought that I would ever order a truck or a car directly from Tesla, but I figure it's going to be about 2.5 years before that's out, and basically maybe I'll have money to buy it by then. So I don't know. It's $100 to pre-order, so that's what I did for my my Christmas present for this year, was to pre-order my Tesla Cybertruck. Whether I actually get it or not, I have no idea. Let's see what else. Justin Duke says that hangouts are fun. I agree. This has been kind of fun. Maybe I'll do just a hangout and not one that's related to anything specific, like this guitar unboxing type thing. Medicine Man says, I got myself the Melo Audio MIDI Commander switch pedal you demoed. I like it, and expression pedal too. Yeah, I've got a couple of those, and in fact, they just sent me a new Melo Audio, the TS Mini, which is like an interface to record with, and I'm going to be testing that out this next week and putting up a demo for that. I haven't tested it yet. I just plugged it up and just got the drivers installed on my computer, but it's kind of interesting. I've been redoing my setup here. I don't know if I can spin this around or not, but I used to have this Behringer XR18 right here, and I have switched it out because I used it at my church and we needed it there more than I needed it here. But I found this Digi 002 rack that used to be my brother-in-law's, and I installed it, and I can't believe it actually works with the Windows 10, but actually it's working pretty well. And you can pick those up for like 50 or 100 bucks. They used to be 1,000, you know, or more. I don't know how much they were. They were expensive, but Justin says, I wonder what the Glarry would sound like with a wah. I do have a crybaby back there, but I'm not gonna set it up. I don't know. It'd probably sound like junk. If it's not gonna sound good clean, it's not gonna sound good with extra tone things putting through it. So I don't know. That's my thought. Anyway, guys, it's been 45 minutes. Got to install a MIDI pickup. Actually, that would be kind of fun. I have installed a MIDI pickup on one of my guitars. This right here. Now this is a Mexican Squire, and I installed the Graphtec saddles here, and it's got the 13-pin pickup here as well, and that was a lot of fun to do. I wouldn't install one on this guitar because, well, basically, it's too expensive. So the pickup itself would be way more expensive than this guitar. I think that pickup system was that Roland, DB is saying is a Roland setup there. It's for the Roland 13-pin pickup. It was like 400 bucks, and I bought parts used, so I wouldn't do that with this. Maybe you put a GK3 on it, but yeah. My Roland setup, you know what? I haven't. Where is my Roland? My Roland's back there somewhere on my shelf, and I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. It's not something that I've played recently, like in the last year. I used it to demo the MIDI Commander, which I thought was cool. And I wish I had the MIDI Commander about 2 or 3 years ago, because that would have been easier for me to use. But in my setup right now, I don't need the guitar. I don't need a MIDI setup. So I don't know. And even playing with it through recording and that kind of thing, I don't know if it's needed. So I may be selling my Roland GR55, which should probably be the most unique Roland GR55 because I've modded it. It's got the OP, I think it's the option 1 OPT01 that's no longer made. That's a subsonic filter inside of it. I also put added a jack where I could plug up any guitar to it. And you can't use all the synth, but you can use all the guitar effects through it. So it's a pretty sweet setup. That's where I'm like, man, I don't want to sell it, because if I ever want it again, I don't want to do those things to it. But DB Cisco says, I love my Roland setup. Medicine Man says, I need a MIDI guitar for music notation. What do you recommend? I don't know. It's been a while since I've done that, and I bet there's more on the market now that's cheaper and easier. If you're just using it for MIDI notation, I'd have to do a little bit of research, but I imagine that there are some MIDI guitars that aren't meant to be played. Other than that, you're gonna have to get a GK3, which goes on the outside of a guitar, plugging into a Roland box and using the MIDI out of that into software. That's a lot of money to put into that. I bet that there are guitars now that I've seen some of those like jam guitar. I can't remember the name of it, but they're like it's not a real guitar. It's just a plastic guitar, but it's for practicing. And I wonder if they have MIDI on it too. Seems to me like that Behringer came out with a MIDI guitar a number of years ago. I'm not sure. Not really sure. That's a great question. I have to do some research and figure out what that is. So anyway, guys, hey, I'm glad you're watching. Got 10 people with me right now. Like I said, this is the first time I've ever done this. I've enjoyed it. Oh wait, hold on. DB Cisco says, try a $30 Rockstar Fender Mustang for a cheap MIDI intro. Okay. I don't know if he's saying put a MIDI pickup on that, or that the Rockstar has MIDI built into it. I don't know. Not sure. You might comment here in a second again if you know that answer. It has MIDI in it. 30 bucks. Wow. Okay, $30 Rockstar Fender Mustang for a cheap MIDI intro. All right, there you go. There's your answer. Maybe that would be what you'd be able to work it out. Hey guys, I'm gonna hit stop on this this live stream. Thanks for watching. I will try to do this again. If you like this, do me a favor, hit a thumbs up, and maybe I'll be able to do this more and more often. So thanks guys. Thanks for commenting and making this a fun experience. I'll see you guys later. I am going to sign off and end this thing here. If I can figure out how to hit the end button on this. I don't know. Let's see. All right, I'm going to take this down. I don't know where the end is on it.